The one common theme that I've noticed with my clients is that they want a change. Either it's a change in their circumstances, it's a change in the way they feel, they want to experience more joy, more pleasure, more success. They want something to be different, and so they're going to therapy to make sense of their situation and how they can overcome it. And the one pattern that's consistent among all of my clients is that while what they're going through is not their fault, it's their responsibility. And I want to unpack in this video what I mean by that and share some stories that will help you in your own journey in order to craft the life that you want and you deserve. Before we get into it, I'm Desh. I'm a qualified counselor. I thrive upon helping my clients in reaching the life that they want and in making sense of their situation. And the key for me in that is self-awareness. And so my videos are intended to help guide you towards becoming more self-aware. And in this video, I want to speak about the fact that your current circumstances, your situation, the way you're feeling is probably not your fault. You've learned to feel this way. You've learned to engage in certain behaviors from your past. But while it's not your fault, it's your responsibility, because at the end of the day, you're the one who feels that way. You're the one who's acting in the same way. And it's down to you to make those changes towards living the life that you want to. And I want to share a story with you. Emily had a rough childhood. She had an emotionally turbulent childhood. She saw her parents constantly arguing, beating each other. There was violence in the household, and there was no one there to help regulate her emotions. She did not see how her parents were able to communicate how they felt, whether it's happiness or sadness, in a healthy way. They were not able to express themselves other than through shouting and violence. And because she had not seen how you can regulate your emotions, how to express how you feel, how to set boundaries, she never learned that skill, and so she herself became very withdrawn. She did not feel safe to express how she felt. She felt emotions were a bad thing, and so she started suppressing it. And this was all done subconsciously. This was not a conscious effort all the time. Most of the time it was subconscious. She said to herself, make sure I don't say how I'm feeling. I know it's gonna, make my mum angry or my dad angry. But it's also her nervous system playing a role to keep her safe and protect her. Fast forward to Emily as a working adult. She has no close relationships with her colleagues. They are distant from her. They sense this tension with her. She doesn't enjoy her job. She has been in a relationship that has been quite abusive, and she's been looking for a way out, but she doesn't know how to leave. She doesn't even know what she's looking for. Her work had encouraged her to go and seek counseling through their work program. And the therapist asked her, how much of the pain that you're experiencing at the moment is down to the choices you're not making? And this really set Emily off. She feels, my therapist doesn't understand. None of this is my fault. It's my mum's fault. It's my dad's fault. It's my colleague's fault for talking to me the way they do. It's my boyfriend's fault because he's been abusing me and talking to me like this. And so she doesn't understand that the choices she's not making are also responsible for her being in the place that she is. That there are certain behaviors and choices and things that she could do to improve her life, to improve her relationships. And it all starts with self-awareness. So the whole point of the therapist's question is to challenge Emily that you are living out a set of patterns that are familiar based on your past, but none of them are serving you. They are all hurting you, but because they are familiar, you attach to them. And how many of you watching this video can relate to what Emily is going through? Maybe not to that extreme, but maybe the smaller things. Maybe you want to play it safe. You want to hang on to comfort because it's familiar, even though it may not be serving you. There may be a behavior or an action that you could be doing that could be completely new, unfamiliar. It could come with a lot of uncertainty and even risk, but it may reap a lot of reward. Even if you failed, you would have attained an experience that you can do it, that you did something different, you stepped outside your comfort zone. And the more you do that, the more comfortable you will be with that process, and the more you can see and tap into a potential that you never would have realized before. Again, it comes down to the fact that it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility. It's not your fault how you were raised. It's not your fault what happened to you when you were younger. It's not your fault that you feel miserable growing up. It's not your fault. But because you feel it and because it's coming from you, you may think, it is my fault, I am a failure, I'm not good enough. You're having all of these thoughts that's keeping you trapped within the same cycle. You are sabotaging yourself. Again, you may be rejecting what I'm telling you right now. You may think, Desh, what are you talking about? Why would I sabotage myself? This is true. I've never been good. Just look, I failed at this, I failed at that. This again is your sabotaging brain trying to justify the fact that you need to think in that way, and it's not true at all. This is where reframing comes in, because there is a life that you can craft for yourself that's going to allow you to experience joy, pleasure, emotional freedom, even financial freedom, that you can set yourself goals that you can strive for, and you need to harness all the energy you have, reframe the way you think, reframe the way you use your body and your physiology in order to attain those goals. And it is possible, and I know it's possible because I've supported clients in order to achieve their goals, and I myself have gone through and am going through that journey. I myself had a very rough past. I did not have any ability to regulate my emotions, but I made that a priority for me from quite an early age. I focused on making that a priority, and I learned it's not a privilege necessarily that everyone's born with to emotionally regulate. It is a skill. It is a learned skill. You can acquire the skill through practice, failure, repeat, and keep repeating. You have to keep repeating something that's quite difficult, but you know you're on the right path in order to get the desired outcome you want. And the more you do it, the more you will become comfortable in your ability to do different things and to achieve things. In Emily's case, when she reflected on that question, she realized that her relationship was causing her great misery, and that it was the same pattern every day where her boyfriend would abuse her. She did not get on with her colleagues because she herself was quite distant from people. She wasn't open with them. She was withdrawn. She wasn't able to communicate to them in the way she would have wanted to. I mean, she wants to have a good relationship with her boyfriend. She wants to have a close relationship with her colleagues. She wants work to be a more joyful experience than it is. She wants her life to be joyful. She wants these things. There's an intention there, but the intention is not enough. It has to be backed up by action, and the action comes from knowing what you need to do, and knowing what you need to do comes down to self-awareness. Asking yourself, how much of the things I'm not doing now is causing me my misery? What is it I am doing now that's causing me my misery? And why have I been doing these things that have been making me miserable? And it's likely because, in Emily's case certainly, she learned that she had to do those things, that she was only capable of doing those things. This is something she's been conditioned to believe, and it's false, it's not true. That there's this whole other aspect to her which has all of this potential that she has not yet tapped into because she has not had her mind being primed into tapping into that potential. It's been stuck in the same pattern. So if you understand, watching this, what patterns you've been engaging in that have been holding you back, you can help address that. And I want to share a personal story for me when it comes to this YouTube channel. I started this YouTube channel about a year ago, maybe 10 months ago, and the goal I had initially when starting this channel was to grow subscribers. I felt the more subscribers that I get, the more successful I will be. And of course, the subscriber count is a metric of success that I measure. It's one of the metrics. There was a period where I was stuck on 86 subscribers. And I kept posting videos and that number would not budge. And I'm telling you, I felt completely deflated and I was ready to give up. And then this triggered this voice in me, and this is where the self-awareness comes in. I watched many podcasts to learn this information for myself, which is that the moment you want to give up is the moment you have to dig in with your claws and grab on and hold on and keep going. It took me 17 videos, which to film, to edit, to post, and even before then to think about what I'm going to write about or what I'm going to talk about, what I'm going to post on. It all takes time, and it took me 17 videos before before my subscribers started to grow again. And there is a lesson in there for me, which was consistency and persistence and not giving up. You will eventually succeed. If I would have listened to that voice to say, there's no point, give up, I would still be on 86 today. No matter how uncomfortable, no matter how frustrated you are, no matter how difficult it seems, if you believe that what you are striving for will serve you, keep going. Do not give up, despite what others are saying, especially despite what others are saying. Because at the end of the day, the only person who knows you best is you. If you're watching this and you've resonated with Emily's story, and there are things that you want but you just don't know how to get there, then you need to start by developing the self-awareness within you, which is to write down exactly what things you are experiencing in your life, whether it's work, relationships, whatever it is. Write a list of what is currently not serving you, what things are detracting or holding you back from getting to where you want to go. What goals do you have? What goals do you have for your relationships, for your career, for your personal life? What is it you want to do? Once you have an understanding of what it is you want and what you're currently doing that's holding you back, you can start to put in the changes that you need in order to get there. And one of the best ways to facilitate this change, especially when it comes to your life, is to have it under the guidance of a therapist. So I want to end this video by sharing 3 things I would like you to take away. First of all, is to acknowledge your past. Accept my past is what it is, and it's had the impact on me that it has. But I don't have to allow that to dictate my future. And my future is dictated by the choices I'm making today. What choices do you want to make today? What are you going to change? Number 2 is, while we need certainty, we need that security, also embrace uncertainty. Take risks, start small, do things that are different, perhaps outside of your comfort zone, to see how you feel. Become curious with it. And you will be surprised, and I know this from personal experience, doing things outside your comfort zone. Even I feel with these videos, I'm becoming more comfortable in talking to the camera for longer periods without needing to make an edit. It's a skill that with practice comes, you become better at it. You become better at the skill. Whatever it is, whether it's speaking, public speaking, whether it's writing, reading, or whether it's emotional regulation, they are all skills. The more you do it, the better you will become and the more comfortable you will be. And then when you get to that stage, you can then push yourself further and further, and you will have rewards waiting for you. And the third point is to stop waiting for the perfect moment. I have to be absolutely ready before I start this business. I need to make sure everything's in place before I do this. Stop waiting for the perfect moment and just do it. When I started my business, I was so nervous. I thought, I cannot advertise my services before I'm absolutely ready, before I make sure I've written all of my forms and all of my policy documents, and or maybe I need an extra year of experience before I set up my private practice. And I noticed that when I set up my private practice, I was expecting to be flooded with inquiries, and it just didn't happen, because that's not how it works. It takes time to grow a business, to get people interested, to get people to buy into you. And so there is no perfect moment. The perfect moment is just to do it and to embrace failures that may come and mistakes that may come, because they are the pre-markers for success later on. You need to start rewiring the way that your mind thinks, because in the past that wasn't up to you. That was up to the people who raised you. But now you're an adult, you see the consequence of how you've been conditioned and the impact it's having in your life at the moment. And if you're not happy with your life, while it's not your fault that you think the way you do, it's your responsibility. So take ownership to make the changes that you need to. Comment below on what resonates with you the most from this video. What lesson or what thing do you want to take away that's going to help you to develop your self-awareness and help you start making the changes that you want to make in your life. Please like and subscribe. There's going to be more content coming out soon.